Welcome back to ZNGP today. Assen was supposed to be a challenge for Marc Márquez, an unfamiliar circuit where he hadn't tasted victory since 2018. Instead, the 8-time world champion turned adversity into triumph, surviving 2 heavy crashes on Friday to sweep both the sprint and main race. Ducati's Inside series peels back the curtain on how Marquez and his team managed pain, perseverance, and precision to triumph in the Dutch Grand Prix. Assen confirmed what many feared, and what Carlo Pernat now boldly predicts: Marc Márquez is on a runaway train to the 2025 MotoGP title. With each Grand Prix, his grip tightens. His competition fades. Pernat, never one to mince words, says it plainly. With 4 Grands Prix to go, the championship might already be over. From Ducati dominance to Martin's missteps, here's how the outspoken paddock veteran sees the chaos unfolding. Maverick Vinales has charted a remarkable revival at KTM, yet in an in-depth AS interview he laid bare the financial and career decisions that still haunt him. From handing back €17 million to Yamaha, to shelving a Ducati offer, Vinales reflects on past choices, personal evolution, and the burning ambition that drives him toward a first MotoGP world title. After months on the sidelines, Jorge Martin has finally dropped a strong hint about where, and when, he might rejoin the MotoGP grid. The reigning world champion, forced out since April by a string of fractures and a pneumothorax, appears to be targeting the Czech Grand Prix at Brno, 18 to 20 July, as his comeback venue. His Instagram homework video suggests the Mallorcan is already immersing himself in circuit data, laying the groundwork for a return that Aprilia, and the rest of the paddock, will be watching closely. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. With FP1 delayed by weather, Marquez used every extra minute in the garage, until he low-sided at high speed, smashing into the gravel. Ducati's medical director, Dr. Angel Chart, was on the scene instantly, checking bruises and numbness in Marc's left arm. "I took the corner too fast for the track conditions. I got a big blow here on the arm, and this hand was numb. It was as if it had been cut off." Marquez's statement. Gigi Dall'Igna's calm reassurance. "The important thing is that you're okay," set the tone. Though shaken, Marquez refused to back down, trusting Ducati's swift care to ready him for more running. Later in the day, Marquez clipped another corner and found himself skidding over punishing stones, an impact that left him winded and in more discomfort. Yet even as he cleaned gravel from his leathers, his focus never wavered. "Without gravel it would have been better," Marquez said. Between crashes, Marc debriefed with Pecco Bagnaia and rode alongside wildcard Alex Espargaro, sharing insights on the soft front tire that both felt offered extra confidence despite slippery conditions. Saturday's qualifying saw Marquez gingerly slot into P4, but come sprint time, he unleashed his trademark grit. After a razor-sharp start saw him vault past Alex Marquez into P2, he held firm to claim his 9th sprint victory of 10 attempts. "You still have balls after the fall," Dall'Igna said. With Ducati's boss joking about Marc's fearless charge, the number 93 proved that confidence can conquer caution, using defensive lines and razor-edge braking to stay ahead in the final corner. Come Sunday, Marquez faced Marco Bezzecchi in pressure from the front row, but managed his race to perfection, extending his championship lead yet again. His relaxed celebration even drew a playful warning. "Victory is an anesthetic," Marquez said. As Dall'Igna quipped, "Watch your finger." Marc savored the win that masked Friday's pain, another reminder that mental strength often outweighs physical limits in MotoGP's toughest moments. At Assen, Ducati's cameras captured more than just checkered flags. They revealed the champion's will to fight through pain, a team's unwavering support, and a pair of races that redefined resilience. For Marc Márquez, Assen was not just a victory lap. It was a testament to how far grit and teamwork can carry you, even when the odds and the track seems stacked against you. Carlo Pernat didn't sugarcoat it. Ducati's masterstroke pairing with Marc Márquez, orchestrated by Gigi Dall'Igna, has turned MotoGP into a one-man show. We have the best rider on the best bike, with the best team. What can you do? More than win? This Grand Prix pulled the plug on the show. Pernat believes Marquez is simply too complete, too experienced, too aggressive, too strategic, to be stopped this season. With Ducati's power and Marquez's tenacity, the title race is becoming a formality. While Marquez commands the headlines, Pernat sees a rising force behind him, Marco Bezzecchi. His performance at Assen impressed not just fans, but insiders. Bezzecchi is strong, he's formed a group, he's pushing Aprilia. He tried to pass Marquez, it's difficult, but he'll keep trying. Pernat praises Aprilia for snapping up Bezzecchi, calling the move both wise and potentially game-changing. With technical boss Fabiano Sterlicchini joining the fold, Aprilia could be building a serious threat for 2026. Pernat doesn't hold back on Jorge Martin's rumored exit from Aprilia. He calls the situation a shame and points the finger at Martin's management. Leaving a bike that's strong, with desire, quality, and a good teammate? I'd stay where I am. It seems like a really wrong thing to me. Pernat questions Martin's logic amid speculation he's hunting for another seat, potentially Honda. In his view, Aprilia is on the rise, and leaving now is poor timing. Among the noise of Ducati domination, Pernat quietly applauds KTM's resilience at Assen. KTM managed to put 3 bikes in the top 9, unbelievable with so few resources. Their riders ride differently, but it works. With Brad Binder and Pedro Acosta consistently in the mix, KTM is no longer just a midfield contender. They're edging into podium fights and doing it their own way. Despite the technical concessions aimed at aiding the Japanese factories, Pernat sees the same old story. In one GP they go well, the other badly. Fabio Quartararo gives more than the bike allows, but even he can't work miracles. They're waiting for the V4 engine, which we might see as a wild card this year. Pernat respects Quartararo's talent but says Yamaha's lack of data and fragile tech hold him back. Honda, meanwhile, continues to yo-yo between decent days and dismal ones. Pernat also comments on Alex Marquez's injury after crashing at Assen. Despite fracturing his metacarpal, Alex is expected to race at the Sachsenring. Too bad. He had arrived at the moment to challenge his brother. He'll race in Germany, but he won't be 100%. Alex's momentum took a hit just as he was emerging as a real podium regular. Pernat believes Alex would have pushed Marc harder if not for the crash. Pernat ends with a powerful statement on this year's title narrative. We are in a championship where Marc does what he wants. The only thing that can stop him is himself. At this stage, no rider, not Pecco, not Alex, not even Bezzecchi, has consistently challenged Marquez. Unless injury, overconfidence, or fatigue derail him, the crown is heading to Cervera. Carlo Pernat sees it clearly. Marquez is rewriting the 2025 season into a solo script. While Aprilia and KTM gain strength, and the Japanese giants regroup, there's only one true constant in MotoGP right now, #93. For races early? It might just be that easy. Leaving Yamaha a year early in 2021 cost Vinales dearly, roughly €8 million per season plus lost sponsorship. He now wonders if, with his current mindset, he could have finished strong in blue. When I left Yamaha I gave up. If I add it all up, 17 million in those 2 years, Vinales said. That staggering figure underscores how much Vinales risked to escape a turbulent factory environment. With hindsight sharpening his regret, he admits he might have achieved more stability and victories if he'd stayed put. In 2018, Vinales turned down an official Ducati seat for 2019-20. Looking back, he labels that decision his greatest career misstep. In 2018, I had the offer to join the official Ducati team, Not going to Ducati is my biggest regret. At a time when Ducati was ascending to the front of the grid, Vinales passed up a chance to partner Andrea Dovizioso, perhaps the ride that would have transformed his legacy. 16 years into an elite career, the dream that first drove him remains undimmed, claiming MotoGP's top prize. Ever since I was little, it was to be MotoGP world champion, and it still is. I feel like it can become a reality. That childlike conviction fuels his current resurgence. In KTM's Orange Corner, he's not just racking up points, he's chasing a destiny he's envisioned since age 5. Vinales credits his personal growth to learning how to process frustration quickly, an evolution visible since his Mugello spat with Morbidelli. I set a rule for myself: your anger can only last 2 minutes. Then it's fine. That mental discipline has underpinned his KTM renaissance, turning potential burnouts into productive focus and a renewed sense of balance on and off track. As rookie Pedro Acosta bursts onto the scene, Vinales embraces a supportive role. Though Acosta hasn't yet asked for help, he stands ready. He hasn't asked me for help, but I'd like to lead KTM to victory, and together we can do it. Vinales sees no rivalry at home. Instead, he envisions a collaborative push that elevates both his own title quest and Acosta's meteoric rise. Only 2 riders have won with 3 manufacturers. Vinales is determined to become the first to do it with 4. Yes, I'm going to do it. It has to be a day when maybe Marc isn't as strong and you're very strong on your bike. That lofty goal ties personal legacy to opportunistic timing, a perfect storm where KTM's peak, his own form, and rival misfortune align. From €17 million sacrificed to the ghost of a Ducati opportunity, Maverick Vinales' candor reveals a rider shaped as much by what he's given up as by what he's won. Yet through it all, one constant rings true: relentless self-belief. With KTM's orange machine humming beneath him, Vinales is poised to turn regret into redemption, and perhaps finally hoist that elusive MotoGP crown. A medical update confirmed Martin will miss Germany, but pinpointed the 12th round in the Czech Republic as the first realistic chance to ride again. The earliest Martin could return would be the Czech Grand Prix on 18 to 20 July. After suffering multiple injuries in Malaysia and Qatar, Martin's clock has finally ticked down. Bruno will mark his MotoGP debut at a circuit he's never raced on a prototype, making it both a homecoming and a baptism of fire. Bruno's sweeping fast corners demand experience, a currency Martin lacks on the RSGP at this venue. He has still very limited experience of the RSGP and has never ridden a MotoGP bike at Brno. The Czech track's flowing layout contrasts sharply with Martin's handful of practice laps there on a Moto2 machine. Converting his world-class talent to an unforgiving prototype at Brno will be a tall order, and an instant test of his adaptability. In a telling move, Martin shared an FP4 highlight reel from the 2020 Czech GP, studying lines and sector times like a junior rider prepping for his first day on track. Watching the FP4 session from the 2020 Czech Grand Prix as I try to ready myself for what I hope will be a return to action. Posting that homework publicly isn't just fan service, it's a confident declaration that Martin isn't easing back, but charging headlong into preparation. It's an open invite. He's coming back, and he means business. Before dreaming of Brno, Martin had to clear a final medical hurdle in Germany. That test ended any hopes of a Sachsenring return. A recent medical check ruled him out of the next race in Germany. The timetable held him back from the German round, but with Brno just 3 weeks away, Martin's rehabilitation will be in overdrive. Every physio session and light training ride now carries the weight of his World Championship defense. By publicly sharing his preparation, Martin also signals to Aprilia his readiness and motivation to rejoin their factory effort, and to repay their patience. Taking his homework publicly can be taken as a sign of the Aprilia racing rider's confidence in being ready for Brno. After a year of development woes, Aprilia needs their star back in the saddle. Martin's return could ignite the RSGP's next evolution, and revitalize a championship bid currently hampered by his absence. Brno looms as the crucible for Jorge Martin's recovery, a track that demands courage, precision, and the kind of fearless spirit he's known for. If his Instagram study sessions are any guide, the Mallorcan will not merely return, he'll hit the ground sprinting. In 3 weeks, we'll learn if Brno becomes the stage for his triumphant MotoGP homecoming, or yet another chapter in a season defined by obstacles. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!